What's up? And it is episode 3. For those that don't know me, my name is Tonya Harden, aka Pastor T of the New Destiny Fellowship Church under the leadership of Bishop Cloudy Harden Jr. Now that we got that out the way, you may not know who I am, but that's who I am. My goal is to push and prepare and remind women to see themselves through God's eyes and not people, regardless of what people say, regardless of how people feel about you. Being able to make sure that your character is good, but most of all, that if people can't see you through their eyes and through other people, it's okay. You just see yourself through God's eyes. So with that being said, we've been going over this amazing book by He's Lying Sis by Stephan Labossiere. I hope I'm saying that right. But I want to go ahead and deep dive in. We talked about on the last episode, we dealt with that, he doesn't want a girlfriend, but he acts like a boyfriend. And this time we are dealing with he is too busy for a relationship. Again, this is not to bash a man, but this is to encourage that woman that is out there dating in 2021. Hey, I'm going to add to this video, a video that we did at our church on Sunday. It was titled, I'm Single, Living My Best Life. I told you my heart is out for singles right now. And so I'm finding ways and picking brains of other single people, as well as going through this amazing book. So it's going to be clicked right here. You can check it out after this video. Check it out afterward. I'm going to show it at the end, not right now, but I'll show it at the end. And all you have to do is click and go listen to that episode. It's not for children, not for kids. Be warned, it's not for kids, but it's some great information, especially if you're single and saved. Okay, with that said, here we go. He's too busy for a relationship. That's the name of this book, this chapter. He's too busy for a relationship. Listen, this guy changed my life when it comes to singles in 2021. But he's too busy for a relationship. One of the things he's talking about, he gives you a scenario of a couple by the name of Alicia and Michael. So Alicia is, she works in the corporate world. Michael works in the corporate world. Trying not to give the whole book, but just enough. They work in the corporate world and both of them are busy on their job, right? Well, she's not too busy for him, but he's too busy for her. And one of the things that he talks about is that if any man, and we learned this on Sunday, if any man that really wants you, he's going to make time for you. He's going to make sure that he makes time for you. And in this book, he talks about how maybe he didn't have time before because of family, because of friends, because of his social life that may have been before you. But one of the things that Stephen makes plain is that if he wanted to make time for you, he could. And you have to figure out as a woman, like, is this something that I want to do? One of the things he said, and I want to read it. It's, let me find it. Here we go. He said, at the end of the day, the man determines what he's willing to make time for. If he's not making time for you, there's a problem. Now, initially, while he's getting to know you, he might ration his time because he's not sure you're worth it. However, after spending time with you, he must make the decision to know how to prioritize time for you if he's really interested. Understand that there may be an inability or initially to give you his time and attention. He'll need a window to transition. I want to talk about that. He may need time to transition. Maybe he doesn't know how to prioritize his time because he's been single for so long, or he just got out of a relationship. Whatever the case may be, that's what my brain went. I'm like, well, maybe he's got I'm going to always look at it both ways, right? If you know me, I'm going to try to be the middle person. Listen, if maybe he is busy, maybe he had a woman before that asked for a lot of his time, but he didn't want to give that time. Maybe that was the case. We don't know. But let's just say that he doesn't know how to prioritize his time. You as a woman, we as women have to give him time to be able to kind of figure out, okay, is this what I really want to make time for? If y'all just been dating 2 or 3 weeks, okay, maybe, and he's not making time for you, he hasn't understood, is this really where I want to go yet? So you got to give them time to transition into making time for you. How do you give him time to transition? You have to give him adequate time to figure things out. You got to give him adequate time to figure things out. Not only adequate time to figure things out, but express your desire of what you want, how you want to spend more time. You know, if it's 2 or 3 weeks or a couple of months, hey, I would just love to spend more time with you. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. I would love to spend more time with you, right? By letting him know. Another thing that he says in this book, he says, now, I also want to be mindful. We might be unreasonable with your time requests. What do I mean by this? Well, I've seen a lot of situations where the woman is just not satisfied, even though the man is doing his best to make time for her. They're hanging out often, getting a lot of good quality time, but the woman simply want more. Okay, listen, I wanted to hang my hat there, because as women, if you're not used to, and we're going to talk about that later, but as women, if he's spending time with you and he's trying to, make time, you know the difference. You know when he's trying to make time for you. But if you're asking for more time, I want you to be reasonable. Be reasonable on how you want him to spend your time. Do you really need that much time? Do you really need 4 hours on the phone every day? Do you really need him to call you every single day? Do you really need all of the extra stuff that you don't even want to give, but you want that because you're bored? Maybe you go to work 8 to 5 and you don't have nothing to do between 5 and 10 o'clock. And so you're super bored and you want to talk to him and you want all his time, when he's probably getting home and he has children. Whatever the case may be, you got to be able to be reasonable. Not just being reasonable, you got to understand that it's not someone else's responsibility to fill your time, to make sure that you have time because you're bored, because you just want all this person's time and forgot about the life that he had before you. However, this is one of the things I want to lay my hat, and we're almost done with this video. Listen, however, your needs are important. I shared that with the wives, that your needs are important. Yes, they are. Your needs are important, but you got to ask yourself, the number one thing, and these are my 4 points that I got out of this chapter, is number one, you got to ask yourself this question: have you even started creating time for a relationship? Maybe you don't have enough time. Maybe you're on the other end and you're the woman that don't have time. Have you started creating time to say, okay, if I go to work from 8 to 5, let's just say it's 8 to 5. I'm going to work from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, but I come home and I'm on social media, or I got all these things to do, or you have kids, whatever the case may be. And then you look up and it's 11 o'clock at night, right? You don't have no time for nothing and nobody. He talks about in this book how you need to start prioritizing your own time. You turn around and you say, okay, well, I'm going to make sure, when I get off work, I'm going to do social media from this time to this time. At 7, 8 o'clock, I'm going to make time to be able to sit down and just find me. And then after I find me, then I have time for this guy or my kids or whatever the case may be. Having that time, being able to prioritize your time to get ready for a relationship. Come here. Or maybe you got too much time on your hand. You got to find stuff to do to become creative in your own way. Here's the spiritual side of it. Maybe God has given you some things to be creative in, and you're so focused on trying to get a man that you forgot your purpose and what you're created for and what you're created to do. So I want to encourage that woman that has too much time on your hand and you want all of his time, because I promise you this: if you ever get into a relationship and you want that much time of this man, God is a jealous God, and he don't want you to put nobody before him. So you may end up putting this man before God, or this man before your children. Come here, my brother Devin, guy in our church. You got to see the video, watch it to the end. Brother Devin talked about how, you got these women out here that you're saying that you're this mother, but you want to take me out to eat. You want to go out to eat with me. You want to spend time with me, but you're not spending any time with your children. You're not taking out any time with them, but you got this title as a mother, but you're not walking in the title of a mother, or you're not walking in the title of taking care of yourself or making sure you're good. We as women got to make sure that if I'm going to have this relationship with this man, I need to create time and prioritize prioritize what my time really looks like. Do I have time for a man right now? Or have I gotten to a point to where I know who I am, I know what I'm worth, I know my value. So now I know also, okay, I can only do this time and this time. So whenever we talk right now, I'm not that available to you. Come on. I'm not that available to you. And every man don't want a woman that's always available for everything that he needs, that's running behind him like a puppy. I promise you, a man want to chase. Come here. A man want to, can I be number two? A man want a woman that he can chase after. He want to be able to, hey, make him chase a little bit, right? Make him chase a little bit. So here's the other thing. However, your time is important, but you got to create time. Not only do you create time, but you got to be clear. And that's one of the things that he talks about in this book. You got to be able to be clear about what you want. Let him know in the beginning that these are my needs. There's a great book for every married person. His needs are her needs. Also for every single woman. If you're thinking about marriage, you want to think about his needs, her. If you're in a relationship right now with a guy and y'all are thinking about marriage, or you're thinking about going, you in this thing for a little bit. You want to see what is his needs, what is it that he wants, or what is it that you're needing, and you want to be clear about what you need. You want to make sure you let him know, this is what I need, this is what I'm asking for, right? Not only be clear about what you need, but you got to be, number 3, communicate. Well, let me make that number 4. Communicate, because I said number 1, you got to be able to be creative. Number 2, you want him to chase after you. Number 3, you want to be clear. Number 4, you want to be able to communicate properly on what you're wanting. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to communicate in the beginning. This is what I want. I want to let you know, that way I don't want to waste your time. We too old for this. You don't have to tell him that. It's the way you tell him, okay? Don't tell him that. But but you want to be able to be able to communicate that this is what I want. This is what I really desire. This is, I know we're in a transition. I know you're getting to know me. I know you're getting to learn me. But this is what I want. He said in this book right here to be clear. Communicate what you're wanting, what your needs are. I need time. And this is the time that I need from you. If it's 3 days a week, if it's 2 days a week, or if it's 4 days a week, this is what I need from you. I need a good morning text. Like, that just means something to me. Good morning, darling, or good morning, beautiful, or whatever. Whatever the case that you may want, whatever the case it may be, you want to be able to communicate that. Last and not least, you want to be able to be committed to whatever you said, because can't nobody read your mind. Meaning that you want to be able to be committed to, number 1, what you said. If you said, I'm going to cut off this time, I'm going to make sure I do this. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to spend time reading, whatever it is. Or when I get off, I'm going to do this. I'm going to spend this much time with my kids. I'm going to spend this much time with my man to be, or my man. Go ahead and start creating that time. But most of all, come committed to what you said you were going to do. And not just let it be, something you're preparing. If you're not in a relationship, come committed to the time that you know you're going to spend with that man. Let that be the time you find a good old book. Come here. To read a, whatever if you're gonna watch a movie with him, start creating that time right now and start becoming committed to it. If you're in a relationship, be committed to the time that you're gonna talk to them, or when you're not gonna talk to them, or how much you're gonna talk to them. Become committed to that. I'm not saying be a robot, but you just make sure, okay, if I'm gonna talk to you, I'm gonna talk to you 3-4 times a week. It doesn't matter what day of the week. I just make sure I talk to you 3 or 4 times a week. If that's texting, if that's calling, whatever the case may be. Not only that, be committed to what you're going to do with yourself. Take care of you first. Come here. Take care of you first, because you don't want to get so caught up in a man that you lose your confidence, that you lose who you are, you lose your identity. And when I get into this relationship, I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table, right? And I'm willing to be able to transition with him as he's transitioning as well, because this is new to us. We've both been single, or he was in a long-term relationship. I was in a long-term. We got to learn each other on this level. So I'm willing to transition, and I'm going to be committed to that. Or I'm already in a relationship with you, and I just kind of need to put a stamp on this and let you know, listen, this is what I'm not going to do. This is what I am going to do, but I'm not going to stick in this relationship and you can't find time for me. Come here, somebody. You can't find time for me, and you can't be committed to me. Oh, and after that, Okay, I got to be committed to myself. Whatever the case may be, committed to the plans that I've already created for my life. So I'm still living my best life single because I'm still making plans for myself and not just waiting on you to make these plans. Come on. Listen, there are 4 things that I've learned in this part of this book. 5, I'm sorry. Now it's 5. One of the things, man, be creative. Create time. Learn how to create your time before you get in a relationship. While you're in the relationship, create time. The second thing is let him chase you, baby. Let him chase you. Men still want to chase. They still want to be able to chase after you a little bit. Now, don't be too hard. Don't be that girl. But, let him chase after you. Number 3, communicate. Number 4. Is that number 2? Create, chase. Then, be clear. Be clear. Number 3, be clear about what you want. Then number 4, communicate. You know what I'm saying? Communicate in the beginning what you want. And then lastly, number 5 is be committed to what you want. Be committed to what you're going to do. And once you're committed, I promise you, baby, he'll make time for you. Listen, you are not the woman that could be with a man and he's too busy for you. As I told you earlier, there was a guy, Devin, Brother Devin. He made a statement on our panel the other day, and he said that a man know when he wants a woman. And I believe that. My husband knew when he wanted me. He knew it. He let it be known that, hey, I'm with these women, but I know what I want. I want you. You know what I'm saying? Even though I couldn't sit back and wait on him, come here. I had to make the decision. And old boy talk about this in the book, that the girl had to make the decision to have a clear conversation with this dude, Michael, and tell him, look, I get it. You don't have time. I get it. You can't make time for me. I get it. But I want to let you know that I'm not going to sit in this relationship and sit back, basically wait on you. But whenever you're ready, you call me and let me know when you're ready to be more committed and when you have time and you're not too busy to be in a relationship. Until then, God bless you and all that you do. Come on. I had to tell my husband that, hey, I get it. You out here, you do your thing. This was when we were boyfriend and girlfriend. I know husband and wife. But when we were together, it was just like, listen, you do your thing. But whenever you're ready, I may be here and I may not. And when he came back, I wasn't really ready. He had to chase me. Come here. He had to chase me because I was the girl that was always there when he needed me, when he wanted to. But now because I started dating, I started talking to other guys. And it was just like, I remember the day he called and it was a dude by me. Okay, like I told you that I may or may not be here. But in the end, the chase is what got us where we are 20 years later. Come here, glory. So allow that man to chase you. Create some ideas. You know what I'm saying? Become committed to what you're doing. Be clear. Make sure you communicate properly. Until tomorrow, rock out with me. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about, let me find it. Drum roll, please. He loves you, but he doesn't show it. Oh, I can't wait to talk to you about it tomorrow. Until then, we're going to rock out with this book. Go get it. You got to go get it. I can only share so many chapters because I don't want to give. I'm an author, so I know the importance of not giving too much away in your book and allowing the reader to want to read it. So this is going to be, now listen, the title might change tomorrow. I don't know, but I want to make sure that I continue this book with you. Probably until Thursday. I don't know. I'll let you know. But he's lying, sis. You gotta go get this book at any store, anywhere. We're gonna continue the journey on tomorrow as we talk about He's Lying, Sis. Uncovering the truth behind his words and actions. Until then, make sure you subscribe and like this channel. Share it with someone so that they can get all of this good, juicy information, as well as other topics and different things that I have on this YouTube page. Characteristics of women in the Bible, things about marriages, about single women. Just go through my playlist and you'll be able to get a lot of information about betraying, of the blessing behind betrayals and all that great information. Until next time, stay blessed at all that you do. Love you much. Bye-bye.